All right, all right, all right. This is the electric drum here on 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. I'm Jose Candelario, host of Late Night Rhythms, and today I am joined by Dexter Singleton. Dexter is executive director of Collective Consciousness Theater, director of New Play Development. He's a freelance director, and he teaches at Yale University. Busy man. So I appreciate you taking the time out to even conversate with me ever so slightly. And let's get to it, Dexter. You have a play coming up here in New Haven.
Yes, Collective Consciousness Theater, which has been in operation for us since 2007. Our upcoming show is a play called Fairview by Jackie Sibley's Drury, who's an award-winning playwright. The play actually won the 2019 Pulitzer Prize for Drama, and it's right here in New Haven with us November 2nd through the 19th.
Oh, okay. All right. It's coming up on us real quick. So let's now talk about you a little bit.
Sure.
You've been in New Haven now for a long time. You have directed several plays. How did you come about and developing yourself into a director? What's your background a little bit?
Yeah, so I started out as an actor, like a lot of folks, and just kind of stumbled into acting by chance, and started to do it. Took a class and then ended up enjoying it, and then started to continue to do it and audition, and decided that I wanted to become a professional actor. And so I did that for a number of years, but then also had a love on the side for just wanting to know how productions ran. Didn't so much want to be a designer, but was really interested in how actors prepare, the production side of it as well, and then working with actors potentially as a director. And so I started to direct a little bit, assistant direct with various directors who were doing productions and things here and there. And then from there took on directing a bit myself. And for a while, I was an actor and a director, and then eventually the directing just became my main focus. And so I don't, act as much as I used to, but I still love it. But directing is now my first love.
Now, did you go to school for it, or is this like a training on, on site?
So I started, I didn't go to school formally to direct. I went to school to be an actor and got my degree in that. And so really just started directing, just picking up, jobs here and there, and just did it by trade, right? Just directing here and there, and just kind of worked my way up. Started basically saying to people, hey, if you let me direct something, I can do it for free or do it for a low cost. And then I started getting opportunities like that, and then just kind of worked my way up until I was able to get to a point where now, I'm at the level where I'm directing, in different professional theaters around the country, and regional theaters and things like that. And so, from there, pretty much the next level is directing in New York or off Broadway. And so I've been able to get pretty far with it. So that's, main way that I just picked it up is just going show by show and learning with each show and directing different types of plays, from musical to classics to, new plays, and just kind of cutting my teeth that way and learning.
And that's something that sometimes this generation forgets, is paying dues, right, in the business and learning and being humble. Tell me a little bit about your first directing job. I mean, how did you go about it? How did you get it? And, and how did you feel about it?
One of my first directing job, I did a play called The Prudence Crandall Story, Passion for Justice, that was formerly Young Audiences of Connecticut, but now they're called Arts for Learning, and they're right in Hamden. And so when I originally came to the state of Connecticut, I worked at Long Wharf Theater, and I was one of their interns. And so that was how I came to Connecticut, and I was an assistant director there. But, finishing up that internship and a couple gigs here and there, my first professional gig was doing that for Arts for Learning. Arts for Learning is a program that a lot of people, listeners may know. They do a lot of school programs, present a lot of performances and workshops and residencies in schools around Connecticut. And so this was a play that was in conjunction with like the Anti-Defamation League and Arts for Learning. And it was a solo show. So it was a great way to learn as a director, to do a show with just one actor and not having to deal with too many pieces. And it was a very small show that just had a chair, a couple tables and desks, so a real opportunity to just kind of learn, not have too many things to have to worry about technically, and and having a big space. And mainly it was just, we did it in schools. And so that was my first couple of shows that I did, were shows that mainly just toured, to schools, to community locations. And we toured that show for several years, and several different actors did that show as well. And I learned a lot, from doing that.
I would like to touch on that. It's a very common way to start getting involved in theater is through community theater. I mean, people dream of making the jump right to Broadway, right? And, being in Wicked then next week. And humble beginnings, a lot of people in New York City started right in their neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah. And I also did a lot of work, too, with the very beginning. A lot of folks, listeners, I'm sure know Bregamo's Community Theater.
Yes.
I was one of the first artists that started working with Ralph Ramos, who runs that organization. And I was one of the first artists in the community that started working with Bregamo's. And I think I probably directed Bregamo's first couple of shows. And so once I did Passion for Justice, that was my next step, is working with Ralph. He would be the producer and I would be. And so we did Kingdom. We did several other shows that were there in those early, 2000s, when Ralph was just establishing that space. And so that's another example of, community theater and, folks who are doing theater, around town, getting together and learning and just, taking a shot at it.
There you go. And everything's a stepping stone, and it's right here in New Haven. You don't have to go that far to gain that experience to get you to the next level. I mean, one day you'll be receiving a Tony and people will be like, oh, he's an overnight success, but the truth is, we know the time that you have to put in to get better. Now, you're executive director of the Collective Consciousness Theater, right? Executive artistic director.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this program and the productions, because I know I went to one of your productions at Rector Square, was it?
Yep, that's right. In a Rector Square, I think you saw Skeleton Crew. That was about the people who worked at the plant. In Detroit. Yep, and that was the last production actually we did before the pandemic. And that production shut down. You saw probably one of those last shows, and then it's been 3 years.
Wow.
And then we came back with the production of Barbecue by Robert O'Hara that we did at that space in the Rector Square in Fairhaven. And we did that show last spring. It did really well, sold out every performance. And then all community-based actors, like all Connecticut-based actors, many from New Haven, in the New Haven area. And then we're back with this next production now called Fairview that we just talked about a little bit earlier. And that's got a full, all actors from the community, all designers from the community, all based here in this area. And that show goes up in just a couple of weeks. So now we have a full season. So we generally do 2 or 3 productions every season. And we've been doing that for about 8 years, presenting shows in that space. But we also, prior to that, have been around since 2007. And we presented a lot of, performances, touring shows. We toured to schools, communities. We did after school programs, workshops, so a lot of educational stuff, community-based work. We're socially conscious, social justice theater. And so all of our work is about bettering the community, about tackling and using theater arts for, examining issues that are in our community. And so a lot of shows about race, class, and culture, and also taking on other social issues. And so we've been doing this for a long time. 2007, And so it'll be, 17 years pretty soon, and we'll be hitting that 20-year mark soon after.
There you go. There you go. I appreciate it. So the Collective Consciousness Theater here in New Haven. Now, is that with a R-E or E-R?
R-E.
R-E, because so we're fancy schmancy. It's theatre.
Yeah, real artist.
It's real artist, yes. And I do remember the Skeleton Crew, and I to me it moved me because it was an all minority cast. The level of talent was, it was all, we're off Broadway. I mean, literally it could be an off Broadway show, or a small, theater right there on Broadway, because there's so many theaters there. The quality was just so good. The set was wonderful. And your ability to work in a small space and make that small space do so many things, because it is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that's what we really pride ourselves on. We really we wanted to be, in the community right here, accessible for everybody to participate, but also have really, really high quality art. There's that, people can be sometimes that negative view of, well, if I don't see an actor on TV or in a film, then that means they're not successful, right? If they're here in the community on my block or in my neighborhood, then they must not be working. They must not be successful. But we're saying the opposite of that, is saying that we want to have a New Haven that thrives with artists, where artists can do TV, film, gigs all around the country, all around the world even, and also still have a home and do high quality art and still have their craft and their accessibility right here where they live. So artists can live and work here and not have to move away and go to New York or go to, Chicago or LA, right? And that's the kind of opportunities we try to give artists here. So our work is a mix of, we have professionals who are doing it full time, pursuing it full time. And then we also have non-professionals too, who are ones who are really skilled. Some of them might have gotten a degree at it, but maybe they're not doing it full time. Maybe they have a different career. So that's what we provide, a great mix. And so folks who are professionals working alongside, non-professionals, but also really high quality, our actors, and then our design team the same way, a mix of people who do it professionally, but also people who are just really skilled at it, but it might not be a full-time job.
Providing opportunities. Opportunities.
And students as well are a part of that. We have students who are from Southern, from Yale, from UNH, from Housatonic Community College, Gateway. Over the years, coming from all those places, and they're working with us and then taking those, skills back to practice in the classroom or in their neighborhood as well. So I like to think of it as kind of, multi-tiered for what we're trying to do, for the community. But with that, we always want to have the great training for people and the highest quality art in our community.
Nice.
So thank you for that.
Nice. Thank you. You're listening to the Electric Drum here on 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. I'm Jose Candelario, host of Late Night Rhythm, stepping in here. And we're talking to Dexter Singleton, executive artistic director, got to throw that in there, for Collective Consciousness Theater, and director of new play development for a group in Arkansas. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because, it sounds like, we have access to, to something big here.
Yeah. So I, in my work with Collective Consciousness over the years, and that's 16 years, it's been fortunate enough where the company has gotten, some national recognition and has been featured in some ways. And so over the years, just attending different things and promoting the work that we're doing here in New Haven, other opportunities outside the state have been able to come to me. And this was one of them, where I started to get directing opportunities in other cities, right? And so for young people who are looking to pursue it, right, I was directing right in New Haven. And then, but the quality of the work and how that, how the word spreads about that work can go far and wide. And so people were learning about it in other places. And so people will call me and say, hey, you think about, kind of directing here, directing there. And I started directing in different places, other cities, and then, got more and more opportunities. But one of the places I directed was Theater Square in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And I directed a show there. And then I got asked to direct another one. And then eventually they said, hey, how about, maybe joining the staff and join us. So I work remotely and I go back and forth, back and forth to Arkansas along with my work at Collective Consciousness. And, they both work well together. And I do new play development. And what we always did at Collective Consciousness is a lot of our shows in our early years were written by members of our ensemble, the stuff that we toured to different communities. And so I got a lot of new play development, the start of my new play development doing that. Prudence Crandall, the show that I just mentioned earlier, that was an original show that was written by William Foster, who's a local playwright. And so he and I have worked on that as well to develop that play. So I had all these skills that I picked up over the years from working in New Haven with local writers. And I was able to then use that then to now work with artists who were developing work for theaters around the country. And so basically with that, I work with a playwright, help develop their ideas, help develop their story or their script, through performance, through different workshops, discussions, dramaturgical work. And then we develop that script into something that we hope then can be performed professionally at theaters in parts of the country. And so it's been pretty successful so far. I've been doing that work for just over 3 years with that company, and we've gotten a number of shows that have gone off Broadway at this point. Another show, Russian Troll Farm, won the Obie Award, which is one of off Broadway's highest honors. Wow. And so another piece, Flex, by Candace Jones, that we developed, just closed at Lincoln Center off Broadway, and also got a great review in the New York Times. And so, I just feel, I'm fortunate and, that I'm able to do this kind of work. But again, this was stuff that I learned, just being proactive in the New Haven community and, picked up enough skills to where I can do it in other places.
Wow. Again, for those listeners out there who have aspirations in theater, I think your story is so inspirational because even for me, to say that you give to your community first, and through your outpour to your community, you have just exploded and grown into a national phenomenon. And I just can't say enough about what you've done. It's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And now you're a freelance director. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, and I just wanted to also state too, you have pointed this out before, and so much of our work is at Collective Consciousness, right, is BIPOC stories, right? People of color. And that was the original reason too the company was started. It's a very multicultural company. It features actors and artists of all different backgrounds, but the focus has always, for a large part of it, been, stories and issues that are affecting the BIPOC community. And so we always want to, make sure that I highlight that, and so much of our work champions Black women, Black stories, as well as, stories from the Latinx community as well.
And that goes to your why you do this, right? It feeds that part of your soul. Being able to get these messages out into the public in a very artistic form.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think the main, point of art for me is to shine a mirror on society, right? And to have the art that's on stage be reflective of the world that it's in. I hope that it can be, entertaining, but also educational, but really more than that, even thought-provoking, so that people have discussions around and they think about how, what they saw on stage fits into the real world, to their present and their future.
Yeah, thank you so much, because a lot of, being in this form, right, and being in theater, it takes a lot of energy. And it's a very emotionally taxing type of art form, right? Because you're so passionate about what you're doing. So to sustain that energy over now almost 20 years, that your why has to be there to recharge you all the time.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just super passionate about it. For me, it's, I do it, like you say, I mean, I do it for a bigger reason. It's not just to entertain, because if I was just trying to be an entertainer, I may not have lasted this long, because it's a hard business. as well, with the rejection and ups and downs and, and everything. And I've been in it for a bigger reason, right? I want the world to see the, the power of theater, how theater can be used to, affect people and change, things. And, it's my way I can kind of give back because, if it was just for entertainment, who knows, I might have quit a long time ago.
It is, you can, I like the way you testify to rejection and dealing with that in this business, because it is a lot of rejection. You get a lot of no's until you have that one person that just believes in you and believes in your abilities and give you that opportunity. And, you made the most of that opportunity, as humble as it was, you each and every time. And thank you for being an inspiration to our youth, and being available as a teacher for these young people, because you also teach at Yale University.
Yes, I do.
And just what is one note that you can give, to aspiring directors and actors out there? What is one note that you can take from your syllabus?
I think that for young artists, never give up. And just always keep going. There's going to be a lot of times where you might face a number of no's or what you think are rejections, and you just always have to believe in yourself. I would also say to try to find a support system of other artists. That's important too, who are like-minded. And we were able to, early in our years at Collective Consciousness, right, find it was organic, right, a group of artists who needed, things. And we provided a support system for one another, because that'll help you keep going too, when you have other artists who are going through that same struggle and trying. And then also try to have a mentor that is producing the kind of art that you see yourself being able to eventually, or within your potential to be able to do, right? That's at that next level, if you can, because then they're showing you in real time where you want to go, right? And then they're able to help you. You can bounce those questions off of them about, how do I do this or how do I do that, right? Those next level questions, so that you're prepared when that opportunity arises, right? One of my greatest, quote that I love is luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
There you go.
And so, there's luck as some part of it, but you also have to be prepared when you get that opportunity. Because if you're not prepared, then the luck ain't gonna matter.
There you go. There you go. It's one thing to have talent, but it's another to have the practice behind it. You already know.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very, very much. Again, your next production is November 2nd?
Yeah, it runs November 2nd through the 19th, and that's weekend. So it runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the third week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then closes with a matinee. And so it's all available on our website, which is collectiveconsciousnesstheater.org. You can get tickets from the website there, and also find more information about the show. And you can also see us on Facebook and Instagram as well. And November 2nd through the 19th. And tickets are very, very affordable, $25 for adults and $15 for students. And every Thursday night is pay what you can. So whether you have no money, $1, $3, we take it all and you can see the show. And so we hope a lot of people come out. All are welcome at Collective Consciousness Theater.
And the name of the production is?
Fairview by Jackie Sibley's Drury.
All right. Thank you, Dexter Singleton, here on the electric drum for 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. I thank you for your time and your contribution to our community. And I hope everyone can get out there and support. Again, thank you, Dexter.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
All right. I'm Jose Candelario. You already know I'm on Late Night Rhythms, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 2. And I'll see you then playing them slow jams and R&B. And for the electric drum here for 94.3 WYBC, thank you very much for your time.